Good morning and welcome to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment, the first live daily photo show on YouTube every weekday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, as my good man Chris Briscoe knows all about. Down at the cafe here, I know he lives right above our Noble Coffee House, and I figured, maybe he's there today.
It's my second office.
It's your second office. So I snuck in and saw if you were there, and there, sure enough, there you were.
Great surprise. What a great surprise.
And I talked, he didn't want to come on. He said, no, I don't want to come on. No, let's plan this out and do it properly so I can show pictures.
So Joseph kind of wings it, he's kind of famous for it. And, it's like, oh, by the way, in 15 minutes, I'm going to be doing this podcast.
Yeah, and 15 minutes is going
minutes,
live.
It's going to take me 15 days to think about what to talk about.
No. We don't get to think. You don't get to think. You're spontaneous. We got to do it.
Here we are.
Well, this morning, I go in to see him, and I know this guy bought a Mavic 9 months ago. How long did you buy it?
About 6 months ago.
6 months ago, okay. And he tried to talk me into going halvesies in with him on it.
I made him the best deal.
He did.
I said, look, you even get custody of it. He still didn't go for it.
I couldn't, I don't know. I just wasn't into it. I wasn't into it. And then, but look at this thing. Look at that beast. It's huge. God, it's so big.
Oh, it is so big. Yes. It's so big that
it's like the space shuttle, right?
Yeah.
This is the 747. This is the space shuttle.
But this thing fits in my camera bag, my sling bag.
Yeah.
And a couple batteries and the controller. The best toy I have ever bought.
It really is.
This thing.
No, it's incredible. And obviously I talked a lot about, since I got this little Spark, I've talked a lot on the show about not only how much I love it, but how I'm surprised at how much I love it. Because for the longest time, I'm not poo-pooing it, but I kind of like, okay, it's a flying camera, it's fun. Sure, you get some good camera angles, but I didn't truly get it until I had one. Now I really get it.
Well, the thing is that, as photographers, we're always looking for a unique angle.
Right.
That's why we climb up on ladders. That's why I like my little flip-up screen on my little Sony, because I can put it down on the ground real easily. But when you can say, okay, I want a shot of us on the deck, and I want to put the camera 20 feet out there, that's an amazing idea.
Yeah.
Not to mention, 500 feet in the air shooting straight down, or going, over surfers in Del Mar or whatever.
Yeah.
It just liberates your point of view and your eyeballs.
You guys got to understand, Chris has been a professional photographer for a long time.
About 100 years.
I was going to say since before I was born, but then that would make you seem really old, which is not the case. No, he's been doing this forever and ever, and to have that kind of appreciation for the ability to get a new angle, to get a new perspective, for someone who's been doing it for as long as you have, it is eye-opening. You just suddenly go, oh my God, this is a whole new thing that either you couldn't do before or would have been super expensive to do before, hiring helicopters and airplanes, and just made it unreasonable. I mean, you can't go hire a helicopter every time you want to get an overhead shot, but suddenly you can do that. And you were telling me before about a shot that you did. You wanted to fly the Mavic indoors, but you couldn't quite get the angle, so you just turned off the propellers and went with a hand. Oh
my gosh! I was shooting Symphony, and then I was shooting a promo for a bicycle shot, and I kept trying to hover it right at the right spot. And in the Symphony, you have to be really careful because some of these instruments are 100 years old, number one. And in the bicycle shop, there's people around in bicycles, and you don't want to collide with any of them. So I thought, well, why don't I just turn it off and just handhold it like a little kid would be flying his paper airplane.
Right.
And it was perfect. I could hover wherever I wanted to. I could move it over here, and the gimbal on it is fantastic.
Right, even if you're hand holding it, it's like it's on a tripod. It's just super lock solid. It's incredible.
So that was
thinking outside the box, right? Right.
Moment. And then I was telling you earlier that I needed to photograph this footage going down this old mountain road in Arizona. And my son and I went on this bicycle trip last year, and he had put his GoPro on the handlebars, and the footage was so jarring that you couldn't even watch it. Yeah. So I put the I put the Mavic on the hood of my car. I duct taped it on top of a pillow for extra stability, and I drove the road. But as I'm driving, you're not supposed to text and drive, but you can fly and drive.
Why not, right?
So I had the controller at the handlebars, I'm driving, and I'm locking in the focus, I'm moving the gimbal up and down and getting the exposure just right, and I drove over the yellow line of this whole mountain road with the Mavic duct taped to the hood on top of a pillow, and it was flawless.
I would imagine the battery lasts for a really long time when you do it like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't have to do anything. I could have driven across America. I could have driven the length of Route 66. So, you know, thinking outside the box with these things is a new thing, and it'll get you outside of the box. But
Yeah.
learning it, you know, you're learning two things. One, you're learning how to fly,
Yeah.
and then
Yep,
you're learning how to be an aerial photographer. So you're doing these two things,
Yeah.
and when you land after, you know, flying over the 4th of July parade or surfers,
You didn't do that.
not that I would talk about, no.
Right. Okay.
No.
Just making sure
Gotta-
that's theoretically you could fly over a 4th of July parade.
Theoretically. Yes.
But you wouldn't actually do that.
And if I did, I would never post my pictures on Facebook.
Never,
Never,
ever.
ever. And I would never fly it out of sight, like from where we are right now on my studio deck, down A Street, over to the plaza, 6 blocks down that way, and over to the freeway,
That would be bad.
all by my phone. I would never do that
You would never
because
do
that
that.
would be totally illegal.
You told me a story of someone who's serving a little bit of time for
Yes.
doing something a little bit naughty. Why don't you share that story with our viewers? Because it's worth understanding that there can be real consequences
Yeah.
to doing illegal drone photography. So what did this guy do?
Well, on CBS News, I think it was last week, this idiot flew over a forest fire, and in doing so, inadvertently grounded 3 or 4 Borate bombers. So
These are the big firefighting
Yes.
airplanes. Yeah.
So not only was it stupid for him to do that, but the other part that was really he wasn't thinking about is he wanted to brag about it, and he put it on Facebook. So that's how he got busted for that. So if you ever do break the rules and fly over people or out of sight or at night through the fireworks, did you see my drone through the fireworks?
You
No,
didn't
I
do that. You didn't do that.
Do not put it on Facebook.
Right.
Yeah.
Or YouTube Live.
Or YouTube, especially YouTube Live. Yes, yes.
So this guy is he's currently
Yeah, it's
wearing
like
an orange
3 or 4
jumpsuit.
months. Yeah, because he did that. So it's not a good idea. But if you do make a mistake, don't put it on Facebook.
Don't put it on Facebook. So you guys out there watching, we'll take a look at the comments here in a minute. Have you flown anywhere where you shouldn't have? You don't have to. I won't call out your name. Just tell us in the comments what you've been doing, and I'd love to share the story of the things you shouldn't be doing. So the ride across the country with your son, we've talked about that before. You've got a book over there.
Yeah, this is my book of my wonderful son and I rode from the tip of the Santa Monica Pier all the way to Chicago almost exactly a year ago.
Wow.
Today we arrived in Chicago.
Oh wow. Okay.
And we met all kinds of amazing people and had amazing experiences along the way. And
Here, show it to. I'll zoom in on here so people can see some of the book. That's great.
I'm just going to go through it, and I really wanted to take a drone on this trip.
Right, but didn't quite have it then.
You know, the Mavic wasn't out yet, and some other ones weren't out. But imagine, you know, in the middle of the Mojave Desert with your son on the bicycle, and it's, you know, you're following the drone.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. It can follow you. You can put it in front of you and have you ride while it's following you backwards. So this book, this is available now. You can buy this. Is this on Amazon or where can you get
this?
this?
Will be on Amazon. I gotta have another month to just fine tune it a little bit more. But it's a wonderful story about an opportunity that I had to do this with my son, who is 23 years old. And
Yeah, that is
I'll
incredible.
never forget it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine. That's awesome. Okay, so you've got this fun little Mavic. You've been having some good times with it. Let's talk about some of the shots that you're able to get. And I think you have your iPad, right? So we can kind of sort of show a couple pictures. But some of the shots that you've been able to get that just completely out of the usual, what you've been able to do with this, you were never able to do before. Let's talk about a shot or two that come to mind that really set a new standard, set a new bar for you.
Well, I don't know if your listeners can see this.
Let's see here. Let's go zoom in.
But this is at a friend's ranch.
That works. Yeah, there you go. Hold it like that. Perfect.
And this is above the horse ring at sunset, where you get that long shadow.
So
looking
cool.
straight down at this woman training her horse. Now, you know, if I had had access to a helicopter at, I don't know how much a minute, possibly I could have gotten that shot.
Right.
But it's just.
But maybe not, because the helicopter would have been so much louder than the drone. I mean, these things are loud, but they're not helicopter loud. Probably would have scared the horse.
Yep. This is a beautiful vineyard that you took me to for wine last year.
Yeah, this is an incredible place. This is Bellafiore Vineyards.
And you know, when the owners saw this, you know, they flipped.
Yeah, imagine so. And this is this incredible mansion that's built on these vineyards is here in Ashland. It's a pretty special place. It's very pretty. Oh, this is great. This is incredible.
This is probably the most unique example. You know, we've all done pano stitches with our cameras using Photoshop, where we do 5 or 6 shots, overlap about 20%, and do a pano stitch. Pretty easy. But I went over, whoa, we're not going to say where we are, right? I went
Nobody knows.
Possibly illegally, maybe, over this unnamed town in an unnamed state.
There we go. An unnamed town in an unnamed state.
Country, yeah. And I hovered there, and I did a 6-frame pano stitch that ends up being a picture of this unnamed town that's 180 degrees, tack sharp. When I flew it back onto my deck, of course landing within about 2 inches of where I took off. I put it in my computer. I did the pano stitch in Photoshop that was flawless. The horizon was flawless.
Photoshop really does a good job with that.
And the resulting file was 200 megabytes. And it's amazing.
So, okay, when you shot that, you said you put the camera into tripod mode, right?
I did not on this.
Oh, you did on that
one?
Okay.
I did not, but tripod mode, for those of you who don't know what tripod mode on the Mavic is, that basically it cuts out a lot of the peripherals like obstacle avoidance and other important things. Okay. But it puts all that into keeping the Mavic rock steady.
Okay.
So you can do stuff like that, but I didn't think of it for this first shot I did with the pano stitch, but it would have been even sharper. I can't imagine it being.
So the advantage of it is it's even more stable than when it's in a normal still mode. Okay. So you can do long exposures that way, right? Isn't it? Yeah. How long can you do you know?
Well, if you were to fly through illegally through some fireworks at night.
No, I mean I meant in the tripod mode. Can you do? Is it like a 1/15 of a second exposure, a half a second?
You'd
How
have
long?
To put neutral density filters on it.
Okay.
To get that long
exposure.
Sure.
But the stabilization, it's good enough to go long exposures. That's crazy. That's incredible. Wow. Yeah. All right, let's see what's going on in the comments here. A lot of stuff flying by. I want to see if there's any good questions for us.
Any cops
if you have any questions for Chris, now's your chance. Just you know the routine. Throw an @PhotoJoseph in front of him. So let's just go through and see who's here. So again, Ahmet, Quentin, Zachary, good morning, everybody. Jess, hello. Burns Tech, good to see you. Thomas, let's talk about in Sweden. Martin saying good evening. Let's see here. Brent says, image looks great on my 60-inch TV through my Roku. That's pretty impressive. We're using the Mevo today to go live off of cellular, and it should be 1080p, but I did get a low bandwidth warning, but apparently that went away, so I think we're good there. That's phenomenal. People sitting there watching us live on a 60-inch television. I love it. I love it. That is too much fun.
From an unnamed city.
From an unnamed city. Thomas, you're going to be in Sweden in August. Awesome. Okay. And you got the Fly More combo for the Spark. Let's connect. Let's connect. I'll have my kids with me. We'll make a little lunch out of it or something. Martin says, I feel like a complete noob listening to you two talking. You know, when you've been doing it as long as this guy has, everybody feels like a noob.
Well, a noob is in terms of the drone, or just it's because I was too. And the exciting thing about the drone is that, first of all, you have to learn how to fly it, which is in the beginning stressful. Then you have to learn how to be a photographer from a drone, which is stressful, and doing both at once. And when you land back, you know, wherever you took off from, a lot of times, at least during the first month, you'll want to lie down on a couch with a drink. Seriously, it's like you need the pilot's lounge, you know, where you can just collapse after the heavy flight. I mean, you're really exhausted. And you know, the next step I want to do is I want to get those goggles, because apparently the goggles will let you feel like you were in the drone. I've talked to people that have flown with the goggles. And a lot of them said that they got, you know, airsick. It was so realistic. Oh, really? Okay. So you're going to really need, you know, that stiff drink.
Well, any kind of VR stuff like that, if the refresh rate isn't high enough, then you can definitely get motion sickness from it. And the problem is that, I don't know about using it for the drone, but normally you turn your head and the scene should move. And if it doesn't move within the right, I don't know what it is, the right milliseconds, your brain goes, and you can get motion sickness quickly. But I haven't seen him yet. A buddy of mine has ordered a pair. He doesn't know when he's getting them. And he's got the Mavic, so we'll get to hear from him how it goes out. Yeah, that should be really fun. I think it is just so cool. Thomas says that we talked about hand-holding with a Mavic. This movie was shot entirely with an Inspire and handheld. Okay, cool. So he sent a link to that.
Oh, great.
I can't click on the link here to pull it up, unfortunately, but we'll look for that. Ryan, do me a favor, grab that URL for me because I know that will go away once this is over. I want to make sure we get a chance to watch that. Big Jake, good morning from Texas. Brent in LA, excellent. Hello from Germany. See, this is just do a quick little, because Chris isn't usually on the live show. Just do a quick shout out. Just if you're watching live right now, just type in your city and country where you're from. I want him to see just how widespread this thing goes. Wonderful. It is fun. It is cool. And this is a small show. We only got 30 people watching right now, but we'll probably get at least 15 countries in this list.
What a community!
It is. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Fantastic.
See this thing. You know what's remarkable is when it's folded up, it's actually.
Yep.
I mean, look. This is the Spark has a larger profile, width profile. It's thinner, but this in some regards is almost more compact. It's incredible. It is such a remarkable device.
As I said, the whole thing fits in my sling bag with a bunch of batteries and the controller.
Right.
And
right. So well designed.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful.
So jealous. Okay, so you guys know, of course, I've got the Spark, which I bought the original Spark, just the not the Fly More package, just the Spark, and that was $500. And it's half the price of the Mavic, right? But the Mavic at $1,000 comes with the physical remote. By the time you get the remote added to this, that makes it, I think, $650 or close to $700. You're not that much farther off. So it's not that much of a bigger savings than the Mavic is. It's not that big of a deal, price difference. Considering you get the 4K and the 3-axis gimbal, that's tough. Well, I still think this is a good first choice for me because if I kill this, which I undoubtedly will, it'll be less devastating than if I killed that.
But the thing to keep in perspective is that if you went into your camera bag and looked at, well, not in your case, you get a lot of your cameras free, if not all of them. But if the regular, normal photographers...
I bought this camera?
Yes, that's my point. If you went into your camera bag, a lot of them cost a lot more than the Mavic Pro.
Oh, yeah.
So
But I'm not putting it 30 meters in the air over the ocean either.
Right, exactly. But when I crashed mine, went through that fence I told you about, I had to think, look, I'm a photographer, I'm a professional photographer. Right. I have backup cameras. I think I need a backup drone.
That's what you tell the missus, right?
Yeah. So in the trunk of my car, I have another one.
Do you really?
Because it's just like you got to have your camera with you,
Yeah.
If you see that big horned sheep on the side of the mountain and you need that picture, and your drone's down for whatever reason or it's at home, no way. It
doesn't work.
You got to have a second one, just like the camera in your bag.
Yep.
You need a backup drone.
True
Everybody.
True story. All right, let's see here. Where's our people coming in from? Florida, Spain, the UK, Vegas, Florida, Houston, Texas, London, Boston, Lithuania, Canada, Netherlands, Ireland, Ohio, Netherlands. This is great. Germany, Canada again. This is so cool.
Oh my gosh! And they don't even know probably my name or my URL.
I'm getting told that they're having a hard time hearing you. We're going to bring this up a little bit. So you're so soft-spoken, Chris.
Okay, so all of these people around the world probably
Thailand
don't even know my name is Christopher Briscoe.
Christopher Briscoe.
And they probably don't know my URL.
Well, they probably don't. Maybe you should tell them.
Which is chrisbriscoe.com.
chrisbriscoe.com. Would that be BRISCOE?
Yes.
Well, look at that.
Absolutely.
I'm smart like that.
Wow. And my Instagram.
What is that?
Oh, that's, Chris Briscoe. But then I have another one about surfing, which is Surf, Wind, and Sea.
I don't think I knew you had a separate account for your surfing.
Yes, and then I have one for my New Orleans book, which is Spirit of New Orleans.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. And then I have one for the Rogue Valley Symphony, because I do the symphony stuff.
You have a separate Instagram account just for that?
Yeah.
I didn't know you had all these separate ones.
Well, the followers are all over the map.
Right.
I mean, you look at followers in New Orleans, from the symphony in Rogue Valley, very different,
So why have separate accounts for that, as opposed to just putting everything onto your Chris Briscoe Instagram?
I've been in competition with a photographer friend of ours, Eric, and I figure if I have a bunch of them, I can add up those totals and beat him faster than if I go
I don't know it works that way.
Well, it worked for a while, and then I forgot about it, and then he leapfrogged me.
No.
So, Eric Mindling. great photographer.
Yeah, you guys have met him before. He's
Really
the fellow that I did the workshop with in Oaxaca, that we're doing the workshop with again in October, with any luck. So as you all know, PhotoJoseph.com/workshops if you want to come to Oaxaca. You want to come?
I would love to go to that workshop.
You should.
You know, the combination of the two of you has been probably going to be amazing, because Eric has been living there at least half time for the last, what, 10 years?
25 years.
25 years. Yeah. And his networking in all those little villages with those amazing faces and that incredible book he just finished.
Yeah.
And then your skills and the two of you together, I cannot imagine a better workshop to go to.
It's a fun workshop. Jess Smith says that the conversation video I did with you was one of her favorites.
Oh, Jess, thank you. You just made my day.
There you go. There you go. We'll do another one. We're planning on getting you, me, and Eric together to do something.
That'd be fun.
We still got to do that.
That'd be really fun.
And then we'll have you in to do a proper, we get your computer hooked up, your iPad hooked up, so people can see the pictures properly, and we can do one to talk about whatever latest work you want to do. It is always fun. It is cool.
It's always fun with you.
Very good, thanks.
That's why people should sign up for that workshop. When
there you
is
go.
It, October?
October. Yeah, go to PhotoJoseph.com/workshops. I'm going to try and convince him to come. Maybe if we don't sell enough seats, we can just drag you along.
There you go.
And then
can I bring my drones?
You can bring all of your drones.
Oh, my drone
I
fleet.
don't think in Mexico. I don't think they have rules, so we can
They
just
don't have
fly.
rules. I love that.
Anywhere.
You know? I think I need a flight suit, and we could have our own squadron, you know, with a flight suit.
Put the goggles on.
Yes,
and
the goggles. When I get the goggles, you have me on. You have to have me on again. I think we should do the whole podcast with the goggles.
So
can
I know
we
I
hook
can.
up the drone.
I
and
can
do it?
live stream from the drone itself.
Oh, let's do that.
But I don't know if there'd be any. Would people see anything different through the goggle? I don't know. Well, we'll get it. We'll find out.
That'd be fantastic.
Or I'll just have a camera on you going, whoa!
Yeah. Throwing up in a bar.
Right.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Exactly.
So when all these people sign up for your October workshop, what can they expect to do?
I love this guy.
This is
What can
in
they
Oaxaca?
expect? This is in Oaxaca. They can expect to meet amazing people, see beautiful foods and beautiful tapestries and candle making and scenery, and we're going to be in people's homes, and we're going to eat some of the most incredible food and drink some lovely mezcal, and just have a fantastic time learning about the people and the culture and the history, all while learning how to take pictures of the things that we're seeing. It's a great experience.
For me, the reason I would take the workshop is the access.
Yeah.
To all those amazing places.
Oh, that's it, yeah, because we get
little villages.
Right. Eric gets us access because he's been doing this for so long, and Eric's got, and I know some of you know this already, but Eric has a cultural tourism company in Oaxaca that has been running for 25 years, and because of that, he has access to all of these people and businesses that regular tourists simply don't. And we go with a small enough group that we can get in there and do what he normally would do, but also do photography around it, and that makes it really special.
So how do they sign up? Do they sign up for this workshop through you or Eric
/workshops? Just go to PhotoJoseph.com/workshops. It's all right there. You fill out a form and request a seat, and we send you a bill, and that's all there is to it.
And how many people can be
8.
in this
We're
workshop?
limiting it to 8. Yeah, it's a
That's
very small
good
workshop.
size.
Yeah,
that's a good size.
with 2 instructors, you get a lot of one-on-one time. And it's not just the way we've done it. It's not just, well, first of all, it's not, okay, everybody come here, set up your camera like this and take this picture. That's not the way it's set up at all. We talk photography tech when we're not out and about. And then when we're out and about, we'll talk about what you can shoot, give some guidance on it. But then you have the freedom to go shoot what you want. And we walk around and go, okay, Chris, what are you shooting right now? Let's look at your camera. Oh, have you tried this? Let's try that. Or come up to me and say, hey, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. So it's, because it's such a small group, we can be very intimate like that.
So it's not like a photo walk?
No.
Oh, that's fantastic.
No, it's great, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a good time.
October. And how long, is it a week?
It's 9 days, I think, 9 days total.
That's
yeah,
just
like
about
a week and a half, yeah.
That's just about right. Well, I think you should put me on the list.
I think we should. So then you can have kind of 2.5 instructors, because he's,
Jess on the list.
Jess, you coming, Jess? Come on.
That'd be great.
You can get a live one-on-one conversation there. All right.
That'd be fun.
All right, let's let these people go and get on with their Friday. Thank you very much, live audience, for watching. See if there's anything else that popped up in here before we say goodbye. And let's see. Get a drone. Awesome. Ryan put the name in the show title. Excellent. Thank you, Ryan. Put your name in the show title. We'll get your links. If you need any of his links, we'll put them all in the show notes down below as well. That's it. Thank you very much. Really, thanks for coming on. Thanks for letting me talk you into last minute. We're like literally, we're up here 5 minutes before live trying to connect to his Wi-Fi network. That wasn't working. Forget it. We're going live from the phone. We can do it. Jess says she wishes she could this year. Well, maybe next year, Jess.
Great.
Maybe next year.
Jess.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Take care of yourself, everybody. Bye-bye.
That was really